good. This guy, every time he sees me, he's like,
From the corner there.
You're right here.
No, I'm good. I'll probably just sneak around there.
Make sure everybody signs it.
There we go. Just keep people.
There, you were made to be on camera. You look pretty good signing that paper from here.
you don't need a flash. Larry, you're on mute. See what they got that. There was a lot of new color ads, and they got that big of There's a lot of these below. One for a client. Get the whole, look at the stars. I saw it.
How are you?
We try to make everybody take a picture, but not everybody.
Yeah. It's football season this year. We're gonna put stuff up on the screens. If you want to sponsor that, that'd be a good one. Football, you know, players, names, the high school football stuff.
I'll get together. I'm there all day tomorrow. My son's off.
I try to sneak in there.
I'll be there literally all day tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a good day to catch me wherever.
Because I'm gonna have the kids do it. They're gonna send me the stuff, do all the pictures, they do it all. And so it's then so kind of give them a little ownership of it. Change it out each week.
It's 6:30. Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the rain that you blessed us with over the night time. Lord, we ask that you give us the knowledge to make the best decisions for this community. We ask that you be with our law enforcement, servicemen, and women, and our first responders as they do their duties. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Item number 2, discussion action, open seal gift for Main Street repairs.
I have a question. Is there any reason we don't have public comment for this meeting on the agenda? Public comment is not allowed to call the meeting.
It's allowed, but it was for no reason at all.
Okay. Can we take time to do that if the citizens here who taken up their own time to come here?
Sure. If you want to, if council agrees, then we can open up for 3 minutes for citizens. Okay, we'll allow public comment. Mike is not presenting the facts to it. Last Tuesday evening, the EDC and the city of Big Lake met at a joint council meeting. We discussed the annual action plan for the EDC and the city. Why was not your plans to bring this up stated at that time instead of notifying the EDC last Friday afternoon at 3:15?
Because this isn't a done deal, Gloria, this is us weighing some options. And had we gone into your meeting and told you at that time, your yearly action plan probably wouldn't have gotten done. And if this doesn't go through, you still gotta carry on business as usual. Had we told you then that this is what we were thinking of doing, then that meeting would have taken an ugly turn and nothing would have gotten accomplished.
So then my next question is, what is the future of the EDC from henceforward? We're in the process of budget planning.
It's business as usual.
Is budget business as usual? Until the vote comes up, if the city decides to do this, until the vote comes up in November?
If it passes in November. If that's what we decide to do. We haven't even decided if that's what we're gonna call.
That's all my questions I've got to ask.
Anybody else?
Mr. Mayor, can I approach?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to share with the council and the mayor that I believe the EDC provides a very important function in our community. It's not only a catalyst for small businesses and continued economic growth, but what I've seen from the EDC is also a catalyst for ideas and solutions for our community. I think it provides a wonderful function, and I would implore this council to allow the EDC to keep functioning in that role. Provides an absolute benefit to this community at a time when, with everything we have going on, it's needed more than ever. So, and I'm not going to speak for the whole group, but I think a lot of us here, would at least share some of that sentiment. So I hope the council would keep that in mind going forward with the decisions that are important. I know each one of y'all have I know these are hard decisions. I understand that. But the EDC provides a benefit to this community that's just, it provides quite an impact. Some of the studies I've seen include for every dollar of investment, there's a $216 return in economic output. And I understand that we have needs in the city, and y'all have to make some tough decisions. But in my mind, based on what I've seen in the time that I've been a community member here over the past 6+ years now, that the EDC's providing opportunities for small businesses far outweighs any reason to get rid of it. So I would hope that the council would keep that in mind. And thank you for your time.
Anybody else?
I do have one other thing. It is a well-known fact that the city of Big Lake is under pressure for street repair and has been dealing with a daunting task of maintaining the city streets. The EDC is aware of that. But my question to you is, why do you believe that solving a strong, aggressive organization will be the solution? We understand that you have an inadequate budget, but where in actuality the EDC, by bringing in business and additional sales tax benefits, are actually a part of the solution and not the problem.
Okay, so mostly you guys know I'm kind of probably the newest guy around and kind of an outsider, and I'm probably the script and the storyteller, as y'all remember from the last time I spoke. The only thing I see and without the EDC, it wouldn't be the last time Chevrolet. I don't know how far you guys know where we stood in January when we got the grant, but there would not have been enough time for the things that I put in motion and the things that Marla and Janet and Susan and everybody had to go. We wouldn't have made it. We would have never got from point A to point B. And we're in the process of delivering our 50th car for this month, which is somewhere around $63,000 in sales tax collected. Our worst month, we've done 35 cars. We did 40 last month, 47 the month before. you can kind of do the comparison in numbers. At 50, we're at 63,000 in sales tax. I brought 6 people into the city, and I have intentions of bringing other families for other businesses. I was, a little bit in getting the dentist to go over here and talk to the EPC, because I thought, hey, we need a dentist, I got to look at my teeth, I got a lot of money up there. So I thought, hey, we need a dentist, because I don't like to take the time off to drive an hour and 30 minutes, wait over there and come back. So I'm as pro this community as you can be, and I understand the streets, I drive on, I know that, and I'm sure that some of the people that don't see what the EDC brings to the table are pushing you guys, and I know that it's political, and I know that we have to get reelected to be able to do the things that you want to do for the city and put you in a position. God knows I understand that, but on the other side of the coin, I'm also looking at the economics, okay, what's good for you guys, what's good for the city of Big Lake, and what's good for me, okay, as well. And when I look at Facebook, for example, I run through trying to add a lot of the people that I've met, a lot of people that I see, a lot of people that buy cars from us. And I see a lot of their kids and a lot of the people, and they're gone. And you look at Angelo, which the average income in Angelo is probably 60% of what the average income here is. But the problem lies in, for an example, they got nowhere to live. And I know if y'all remember when you were 18 or 17 years old and you got out of high school, what you want to do the first thing? Get away from the know-it-all parents, right? Now, I wish I'd have stayed till 30 and save money, but here we are. So the first thing they want to do is get out on their own. The number one thing I think we need to make the city grow and et cetera, is like a housing, some sort of apartment complex, duplexes, whatever the case may be. And you're not going to get that because the average person looking at Big Lake sees 3,000, 3,500 people, sees the businesses that are here. And until you go after them, like that dentist, I sat in this dentist chair 2 times in a month and talked to him and explained to him and filled him in about the 15, 20,000 people that come through the town and Iran and Ozona. Unless somebody's sitting out there aggressively talking to businesses and corporations and builders and all that, unless you've got somebody that wants to do that all day, every day, you're not going to get the things that we need. And then our budget doesn't grow and our tax base doesn't grow and our people still, all the most important things, which your biggest asset is your people. And the young people with the ideals and the drive and the everything end up in Midland or end up in Austin or end up, somewhere, and they don't come back because they don't want to come home with their parents. And we all know, I fought getting 4 different families situated in housing. And so I know as well as anybody some of the challenges we face. So again, trying to cut this short, there wouldn't be this half a dozen people that have come into town with me. There wouldn't be a Glasscock Chevrolet. There wouldn't be 50 cars this month and this time next year 100 cars and 65,000 in taxes this year and 130 next year had it not been a Frank and a Gloria and all the people that helped push this through. And as you guys get final word, and we've had this conversation with you guys, I just want you to understand whatever little bit we may prosper from taking the money from, and cover 2 streets or whatever. And I don't know all the numbers, I hearsay, but the tax base and the bringing the different things in, and getting more employees and getting more talented people and more professional people to be able to come here and stay here and groom some of these people that I can hire from high school and college that come back to Big Lake. I think that's what we're all shooting for. So, thank you.
My name is Awful. I'm a new member to this community. Been here 6 months. I opened up my business here in Texas. These are performance. A little upset because there was no notice, no publication that we communicated. Short notice, I'm not through the line. So I guess I'm lucky. I just want to say that I had the opportunity to establish my business in Mercedes, Big Car Snack. I chose Big because I found that there was a need for such industry, such repair shop here. And ever since I've been here, I've created 6 jobs. And I have right now 4 local or 4 residents from Also, thanks for the help to EDC, and I think they do an excellent job in actually putting the money to work to create more jobs, and of course, bring in talented people. Their big rate is in great need.
Sometimes that was bad, you know, somebody's saying, I'm not gonna say anything, I'm not gonna say today that he's dead, and somebody said, to find information on what he did. I mean, my thing is, I came, my goal was 2 years, and then I found out, okay, you know, I gotta stay 5 with the grant that I got. I love all you guys, the community is amazing, and a big part of it for me was the EDC. If EDC wasn't here, I wouldn't be here. And I love to give this community all I can when I can. And I think, you know, especially what I was saying, he said, I hope you guys really, really sit back and look at it and make a decision. I know there's some out place to tell you what to do. As an individual in the community, I want you to really take time to I love it. And I think you should always do it. And I just thank y'all for your time.
Yes, same.
Kind of following Andrew's things, without EDC sonically just yet. The prices were high, which is what we would have never been getting a research application. So with that being said, with Gloria Frank, you know, that wanting us that bad, that was what made it possible for us to be able to come here. You know, it's been beneficial as far as generating revenue. I've got about 22 employees. You know, everything I feel like I'm the only one who's hired 50 year olds to getting them in DoorDash and have a first time job besides the school. So if we bring that back. Myself, I got the community, I think I've met some good people here. I'm looking to actually buy a house here and establish myself instead of being one of the ones that moves to San Angelo, buys a house and just commutes back and forth to my store. That's not what I want. I want to be able to be a part of the community as well, but without the EDC, solid job is not possible. Thank you.
And I just wanted to, I can't speak for the rest of the council, but I know for myself, I wanted to let y'all know, the research that I had done a while back, and I don't know if it's still the same, but one of the things that I wanted to look at was in the past, one of the rules were that you had to put it on a ballot to, you had to do away with the EDC as a rule, the way it stood, and then put it back on the ballot to get the 25% of the money that could go towards the streets, and then re-vote the EDC back in to put the rest of the money back towards the EDC. Now, and do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about,
Okay.
but I don't know that.
Right,
It has to be on.
and like I said, it was that way at one time, and that was one of the things that we had discussed about looking at towards money. And I know, one of the ways it was published this time was to completely do away with it. And that was not my intention as far as that went this time, but, that's neither here nor there right now. But as Bill said, this was, just the beginning of looking at it and discussing it as far as all that goes. And, the money as far as helping towards the streets, that was one of the things that, you know, we were looking at and researching money-wise. There, if the rule is still the same, there is a portion of the money that can go towards the streets. But it has to, if it's still the same, it has to be done that way to be able to get that money put back in towards the budget. Does that make sense? If it's still able to be done that way, so.
Has the city council completed a study of sustainability with potential expense?
We're getting kind of getting off track here a little bit, we're jumping away from public comment, the comments into our agenda here. We're looking at any additional comments.
I'm confused about what Robin said about the money, because the only way that you can get money for a street project, excuse me, is to have it on a ballot, like you said. And the most that you can get for the city on a street project, street funding is 0.25%. The money that's already in the bank that the EDC has has to still be spent on economic development. Doesn't matter who holds that money, that's what it was collected for. So the law says you still gotta use it for that. You can't take what they have and put it on the streets.
And like I said, that was only in my head, not theirs, and that was just one thing that was way listening.
That's-
Right.
And all this is.
I'll be real fast. I just wanted to thank everybody for showing up. Really and truly, our effort was to show you what we have done.
And there's no doubt in anybody's mind here as to what the EDC has accomplished. It's nothing against EDC, it's nothing against the board, obviously, the director. It's, y'all done a fantastic job with what, we're just weighing some options as to what we can and can't do, or shouldn't do. And that's the only reason why we're here.
I understand that. I would like to project, I don't know, but from what I've read and understood, we can compromise on this. The ED would love to help the city any way that we can. We've proven it in the past. The main thing I understand, it takes an election, and I mean, without a citizen going to a petition drive, the election originates with y'all. We definitely would be open to anything that we could do within the law. We're gonna get out of here and let y'all go to work. I know y'all got a lot of work to do. Thank you.
Anybody else would like to speak?
I'd just like to add one thing, I hadn't planned on speaking, but both as a past board member and a business owner, I think the EDC is invaluable to our community. As an employer, it helps bring people into town to work for us when they know we have an EDC. Some of the businesses that the EDC has brought here, all those things are assets. They know we're a forward thinking community, and it helps draw our employment base. Not to mention the fact that when they do live here, you know, there's increased property tax when we have the extra businesses that the EDC creates. It increases the sales tax. I just think it's a very good thing, and I would take it.
Anybody else?
I'd like for y'all to separate me from the beautification project, because what I'm saying has nothing to do with the beautification project. I feel like Big Lake, and I have voted for everyone on this board in the last 2 elections. And I voted for you because of your leadership skills. I voted for you because I believed you loved Big Lake and cared about Big Lake. I hate the streets as much as every one of y'all do. But I can tell you that every little town around here has the same kind of streets that we do. And a paved street has never brought a business to Big Lake. It has never brought a family to Big Lake. And I think that there's ways that y'all can work this out without ever going to the point of dissolving the Big Lake EDC if you intend to keep it in the first place. I think that y'all have strong leadership skills and you're smart. And I think there's a way that everybody can work on this together and come up with a solution rather than dissolving it and then trying to go back and put it back into place. I think that you'd be taking 20 steps backwards in the progress of our community. We need to be a progressive community. And we are blessed that some of our young people that left here have chosen to come back here. And if we stop being progressive and we start going backwards, they'll go elsewhere. They'll start looking other places. And the EDC is the only entity or organization, whatever you want to call it, in this town that's going to bring business to Big Lake.
Thank you for your comments. We'll move down to item number 2, discussion action, no concealed bids for 8th Street repairs. One bid. $142,994.
Repeat that, I'm having hearing problems.
142,994. With the possibility of this is looking at the possible 375.
What's for dinner?
And this was from Ohio, Flip? From Ohio Street to Custer Yards. I mean,
To Florida.
I mean Florida, what did I say? Oh, yeah, Florida, from Ohio to Florida, Florida.
With three, curves, not curves, but, concrete boundaries.
We have a motion and a second. Motion by Cliff, no, by Robin, second by David. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Okay.
In the bid, it says that they have to start within 30 days.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 3, discussion of action, consultation, and possible hiring of attorney Pat Chesser to represent the city of Big Lake, with a possible resolution of the type B Big Lake Economic Development Corporation, and establishing the street maintenance tax. Mr. Chesser?
Thank you, council and citizens. My name is Pat Chesser. I'm municipal attorney at Brown. I've been doing this for 20 years. I represent 7 cities at this time: Brownwood, Rising Star, Albany, Coleman, Allen, Community Honor. Keeps me pretty busy. My rates are $125 an hour. Just charge one-way travel. About everything, it's $2.5 hours. Basically, issues, and I listen to the citizens, and I think those are all, they all have important points. I'm here just to kind of discuss with y'all the legal issues regarding sales tax reallocation, whatever important things for each one. Dissolution or combination. So I'll be glad to help you. A few years ago, we did away with our agency, we created another. So that's the experience with this.
That's the motion. Cliff, Chesser.
And the hiring will also be established a street maintenance tax.
No, this is just
This discussion,
discussion.
establishing the street maintenance.
This discussion on possible resolution of dissolving the economic development and establishing the street.
And establishing the street maintenance tax, so we are establishing the street maintenance tax.
Not tonight.
So that's what it says, the verbiage here says, and establishing the street maintenance tax, not the possibility of
The
establishing.
discussion is the possible dissolvement and establishing the street maintenance tax. It's the possible.
No,
his motion is just to hire, not to
Right.
resolve.
Item three says, and establishing the street maintenance tax.
It's not
She
included.
can advise that, so. Here's my chair.
I understand that, but the verbiage that's being used there says possible dissolution of type B Big Lake Economic Development Corporation and establishing a street maintenance tax. Doesn't say possibly establishing a street maintenance tax, it says establishing a street
But there is
maintenance
no
tax.
period, and there is no comma, it's all in one.
All in the
But
same
Same
discussion.
sentence,
And
and it says possible dissolution. It's all
It's all under
one,
the
one
discussion.
sentence, under discussion and or action.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Cliff, a second by David. Any further discussion? All in favor of hiring Mr. Chester? Opposed?
me,
We will adjourn this meeting at 6:59.
Yes, there is. Yes,